So now we're going to talk about automations, what they are and when to use them and how to use them. So basically, when you have specific jobs or tasks that are repeatable, so they're happening all the time, and they also have very little variation between them. So for example, you're always going to send an email in a very specific way. So that's a good indicator that you should probably automate that task so people don't have to do that manually exactly the same way all the time, right? And so the way we do this is by creating automations inside Jestor. And to create an automation, first you have to think that automations are inherently data driven, right? So they usually happen because something happened to the data and they're going to affect data. So they're not in the realm of the apps themselves, so the interfaces, they're more related to the databases. So for example, if I wanted to create an automation of when a card goes to approved, then send an email. What I would have to do is not create something here in the Kanban board, but go to the request table and then create an automation, right? So here I activate builder mode and you can see that I can add a new automation. So let's think about the example that I've just given. When something goes to approved, send an email. So I'm going to click here on add new automation. And the name is when approved, send email. And I'm going to search for card. So when a card, let's see, reaches its stage, so it seems like this is the correct condition. So here in requests, when a card reaches the stage approved, I'm going to do something. So I can click here on action. There's a lot of actions, so both integrations and things inside Jestor. So what I want to do is send an email, and I can use, for example, Google or Microsoft. I'm going to go with Google. And here I would have to connect my Google account here, but all I would need to do is just click here on connect with Gmail and then go to Gmail and approve. And here I have to set up the automation, right? So for example, email to, we could either type in like andrew@email.com, or we could use variables from the record itself, right? You can see here that I can click on a variable and it's going to fill out the setup here. So all we would have to do here is add information of email, if there are copies, the subject, so your request, and then for example the name of the request was approved, and then I can type out the message here and then click on save, and then whenever I moved a card to approved, it would send out this email. So it's quite simple. The main thing that you have to keep in mind is thinking about triggers and actions. Trigger is the condition when a record reaches a certain stage, for example, and the action is sending out the email.